Hello, friend, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bearded Tingles, ASMR, and this is going to be my first fact video, and I'm a big fan of fact videos. I see a lot of people doing different videos for things like Harry Potter and Star Wars, but I kind of want to do my own fact video for something that I really love, and I do love Star Wars, and I do love Harry Potter, but I want to do videos for things that other people aren't. So, for my first video, my first fact video, I'm going to do 15 facts about Mr. Robot. And Mr. Robot is by far one of my favorite TV shows. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Robot. It's such a well-written show. It's so well acted, well produced. It's amazing that it's on a network like USA. And I'm gonna do 15 videos about, or 15 facts, about Mr. Robot. Maybe I'll do 15 fact videos. I'll do more than that because I like fact videos, and I have other things that I want to do for fact videos. So I'm gonna read these facts for Mr. Robot, and I found these on thethings.com, and these are 15 behind the scenes facts for Mr. Robot. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into this because I haven't read these yet. I kind of skimmed over them a little bit, but I'm really anxious to see what these facts are and see if there's any information in here that I might glean about Mr. Robot that I had not previously known. So let's dive into it. So, the first fact number 1, the hacks are real. I'm sure you've wondered about the technical accuracy of this show, because, well, we all know it's fiction and all, but the hacks seem too darn real. Well, it turns out that, because they are real, Sam Esmail is so invested in keeping the show as realistic as possible that he hired former FBI Cybercrimes Task Force agent Michael Bazell, director of security for Tanium, and former CIA Special Cyber Agent Andre McGregor, to make sure the hacks and storylines are believable. In fact, all the hacking scenes are performed by real hacking masters and are later rebuilt by animators using flash animation. Talk about getting above and beyond for your craft. These guys are not messing around. They're putting in the work to do something awesome, and it's paying off in a big way. It's pretty cool. I did not know that they hired that guy, but I did know that every line of code that you see on the show is real code that is written by a real code person. And they take a lot of time to do the code to make it look as realistic as possible, which is super cool because it's really neat when they put that extra bit of effort into it, to give it that really awesome feel, or very realistic feel. You can tell they love it. So, fact number 2. so they can mentally and physically prepare for the role. That's pretty cool. And judging by how complex the show's storylines are, we can only imagine how those conversations go. However, you won't hear any complaints from Portia Doubleday, who apparently loves having them. I think her name is pronounced Portia, or it's Portia. In an interview with InStyle, she expressed how grateful she is to Sam for the conversations. Oh, apparently, I forgot to mention, she plays Angela on the show. She says, "I like to know what's going on and plan some things and have an overall idea what the arc is," she said. She's also grateful to be included in everything else that goes on throughout the season. I can dig that. Fact number 2. 15 years in the making. Sam Esmail has always been obsessed with hacking and computers, so he wanted to do what every writer does when they're obsessed with a particular subject: make a movie about it. However, things didn't exactly go as planned, and midway through writing the first act, he realized the story was a lot bigger than he originally thought. So he did what every movie writer does after realizing the story is way too long for a 2-hour film. He removed 20 pages of his written script and presented it to a film and television company as a TV pilot. And lucky for him and us, his script was picked up by the USA Network, and they ordered 10 episodes. The show was an instant hit, and it's now on its 4th season. It seems simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. The whole process took Sam 15 years, but we are glad he finally made it. I am glad he finally made it. Fact number 4. Portia Doubleday and Rami Malek are dating in real life. Go Rami. On screen, Elliot and Angela have a rather complicated relationship, to say the least. But one thing is certain: their chemistry is uncanny. In fact, it's so strong that people started speculating that Portia and Rami were more than friends in real life. I mean, yes, they are really good actors, but it's hard to fake that kind of chemistry. Well, as it turns out, they weren't faking it. After months of rumors of these two dating, they eventually made it Instagram official, because we all know that you can't really be dating someone until you post it on social media. However, this isn't the first time Rami gets close to a coworker on set. Before he was a hacker on the show, he was a very handsome vampire in the Twilight movies. And back then, he was heavily linked to his co-star, Angela Sarafan, who also played an Egyptian vampire and was Rami's love interest on screen. I do not remember him in the Twilight movies, but I have not seen Breaking Dawn Part 2, and maybe that's the one he was in. I don't remember. Maybe someday I'll go back and find out. Maybe. Fact number 5. Carly Jakin was threatened via text, and she plays Darlene, who is Elliot's sister. It's funny how fame works. One day, you are a regular girl doing your own thing, and the next you are getting threats via text, because crazy people don't understand the difference between a fictional character on a show and the actor who's playing it. Just ask Carla Jakin, who one day got a text message from a random number that said, "Dolores Hayes, fsociety is coming for you." Wow, that would kind of creep me out too. Man. Though it may not seem that scary, it was frightening to Carly to think that someone had her number and was making crazy threats. She also called the number from a Google number, but of course no one picked up. Instead, immediately sent her another text to her real number asking her if she had just called. She later asked the tech people on the show to find this person. Luckily, they did, and she never heard from this lunatic again. Wow. That's crazy. Romney doesn't listen when other actors speak to him. Really? That's, Let's see what this says. You know how we are constantly listening to Romney's thoughts throughout the show? Well, turns out he is too. He apparently records the voiceover first, and then the crew plays it back for him while he's performing. Wow. That's interesting. I never knew that. He also has a lady named Sarah talking in his ear all day long, so most of the time he's not even listening to the other actors talk. This has caused more than one unpleasant moment for the actor, including internal bleeding. Oh man. One day they were filming in Times Square, and he couldn't hear Sarah with all the noise happening around him, so he asked her to yell. And of course she did what she was told, and the moment Romney took out the earpiece from his ear, it had blood on it. Because yes, apparently those things do happen. Wow. Not cool. Fact number 7. Stephanie Corneliuson. Stephanie Corneliuson. I know I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I'm sorry. Threatened to set a fan's house on fire. Wow. Well, she is kind of nuts on the show. And she had it all the right to do so. Turns out Stephanie, who plays Joanna Wellick on the show, had a guy on Twitter instigating people on set to set her on fire. Wow. But Stephanie, being the woman that she is, decided not to take it. It's incredibly uncomfortable when you don't know who somebody is, but they have all this information about you because you are a public person all of a sudden. She told Chelsea Handler on her Netflix show back in August 2016. So with a quick 30-minute Google search, she was able to find out the guy's name, his phone number, his annual salary, and where he was employed, and all of his social media information. She then went on Google Images, found an image of his house, followed him back on Twitter, and DM'd him the picture with the caption, "One more peep out of you, MF." That is awesome. This dude clearly didn't know who he was messing with. That is... I just gained a lot of respect for this woman. A lot of respect. Fact number 8. The show has made Carly Chaikin paranoid. It's no secret that Mr. Robot portrays a very scary scenario of how technology can pretty much destroy the world, so it doesn't really come as a shock to learn that one of the main characters is much more paranoid about the world now than she was before the show started. Carly Chaikin said in an interview that though technology and hacking didn't really cross her mind before the show, she is painfully aware of this technological world now. It's kind of like every room I walk into, I'm like, oh, I could hack that, I could do that, or I think that people are constantly recording me or watching me or tracking me or something. Now in my head, everything is, what's the worst case scenario, and I think it's actually happening. Interesting. Fact number 9. Dom was originally thought of as an older woman close to retirement. When Esmail first thought of Dominique DePiro, he envisioned an old woman in her early 60s. However, he likes doing open casting calls, which means anyone who's interested in playing a part can come see what I expected in my head. I don't know if that's a normal thing or not. The one thing I value the most in every edition is the unexpected, the surprise, the choice, the boldness. That it's not just to be different, but there's an honesty behind it. That to me is what resonates more than anything. Fact number 10. The actors are usually talking to themselves. You know all those scenes where Elliot is in his own head, kind of talking to himself? Well, as it turns out, those scenes, and many just like those, are harder than any of us mortals could ever imagine. They are done without the complete props to react to, so the actors are literally reacting to nothing, and are doing it in front of a whole crew. The last scene of mine, when I'm looking at the whole board and we're actually shooting it, I was looking at a blank thing with pieces of tape around it, said Carly Jakin to a news reporter. A lot of the times, we really don't even have props or anything to do it. I think having Sam is the most helpful thing ever, because I'll be having a hard time going somewhere, or doing something, and you just talk about it and have a straight conversation about what's really going on in a true and honest way, that it just naturally gets you to that place of what they're feeling. That's interesting. Fact number 11. Everyone loves Sam Esmail. I've got to admit, Sam looks like a pretty cool guy, so it doesn't come as a shock to me that working for him is pretty darn awesome. I mean, we are talking about a man who came up with the idea of Mr. Robot all by himself because he was obsessed with computers and hacking. In fact, according to his Wikipedia page, he got his first computer when he was only 9 years old and started coding shortly after. I don't know about you, but I certainly wasn't coding when I was that age. So yeah, he's cool. However, he could be a cool dude who is also kind of an a-hole, so I guess he deserves some credit. Just ask Portia Doubleday, who apparently loves how collaborative working with Sam Esmail can be. It's a totally open relationship, she said to InStyle magazine, after explaining that the cast can call him 24/7 if they don't understand something, and he'll gladly explain. That's really nice. Fact number 12. Rami Malek is constantly high on vitamin B. You know all those scenes where Rami Malek is sniffing morphine? As much as he would like it to be the real thing, it's actually vitamin B pills, and apparently it gets really tiring to snort it over and over. During a guest appearance on the Late Night with Seth Meyers show, Rami admitted that outdoing take after take of snorting it can get unhealthy for him. After a while I said, I just look like this is killing me, so can we do something about it? So they build him a vacuum that goes down his sleeve, and instead of snorting the vitamin, he actually vacuums it. No one really knew that I had this, so I would sit there the first day I came with the crew and just line up these huge rails of vitamin B pills, and they didn't know, so they were looking at me like, dude, what is wrong with this guy? He told the late night host. Fact number 13. The show helped a local business in Chinatown get more customers. You know how Elliot Alderson lives in an apartment in Chinatown in New York City? Well, the apartment is real and is in fact in Chinatown in New York. When the show was just starting to get some airtime, the owners of the building hated the fact that the crew was shooting there. However, they later realized what a moneymaker it can be to have their stoop on a hit TV show, so they redecorated the whole thing. And apparently, the dumpling shop if Tony Stark emailed me directly to say he's a fan of something I did, I wouldn't believe it's him either. Then again, I'm not part of a hit TV show. Yet. Luckily, a mutual friend emailed Romney and asked him why he hadn't answered Robert's email. Yes, not everyone calls him by his full name. That would be weird. Of course, Romney felt embarrassed because, well, he had been blowing off Robert Downey Jr.'s emails. Damn. Romney immediately emailed him back and invited him to come on set and see him act. Robert agreed, and Romney was everyone's hero because, well, he had Iron Man come on set. What could be cooler than that? We are down now to the final fact. Fact number 15. Rami Malek ran into an ex right after winning an Emmy. By the way, his Emmy win and speech were awesome. The look of shock and awe on his face was priceless. Is this guy lucky or what? Not only did he win an Emmy for the first time, he was nominated for one, but ran into his ex-girlfriend immediately after the fact. And honestly, if you're ever going to run into an ex, it better be after winning an Emmy. It's facts. However, his luck ran out right after that because he had said something pretty dumb to her when he saw her. He asked what she was doing there. Kind of rude, Rami. Turns out she's a makeup artist and, well, she had as much right to be at the Emmys as he did. But there's no bad blood between them because, according to Jimmy Kimmel, who was also there, she genuinely seemed happy for him. How nice. Interesting. Very interesting. So that is 15 facts about Mr. Robot, which is an awesome show that I genuinely love to death. I have not been to the apartment. I really would like to go to the apartment and sit on the stoop. But I have been to Coney Island, and I've been to the building where they film the exterior of fsociety, and I've been to the place where Mr. Robot pushes Rami off of the pier onto the beach below. I've been there. It's right close by. And what's really cool is the building where fsociety is supposed to be. The doorway that goes to the hall alley thingy that takes you to the back door is there, but unfortunately it was shut and padlocked, but there was a hole that was in the door that I was able to look through and get a photo, and it's just like in the show. It's the same one, so that was super cool to be able to go there. And I would love to go to Elliot's apartment and get a photo there, which would be really awesome. So I actually might put those photos on my Instagram later on for you guys to see, because they're pretty neat. And my Instagram is at Bearded Tingles ASMR, so please go follow me there and see my shenanigans. So, and that, I believe, will be it for this week's video, this first fact video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching my last video, my spooky story. I have more of those coming up too. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I hope you do. I'm trying. Doing my best. Still learning. It's a learning experience, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I plan on doing these for a long while. My own weird version of ASMR. So, thank you so much for watching this video.